That's live. Okay. Just me for a little minute. And then we've got Jake joining. And then we're going to have a little chat about a few things. You've got me chatting shit on my own for a little bit first. How's the lighting? Looks alright, doesn't it? New location today. Doing it from the office because I've moved out my house. I've moved out my little castle. So I'm getting used to a few new things. And anyone that knows me knows that when something fucks with my routine, it messes with me in ways that I can't quite describe. So me having to sort of do bits and bobs that I wouldn't normally do. You know, like most people take stuff like that in the stride. And I'm not saying I don't take it in my stride, but the process behind the scenes of me actually adapting to anything like that is quite significant. I like my little bits and I like my routine and I like everything to run as it should. And when stuff changes from that, it sends me into a place that I'm not quite equipped for. And at 42, I know I don't look it, but maybe that's not a skill I'm ever going to learn. So it's not like, it's weird. So, you know, like some people like don't like change. So it's not the change itself that I think impacts me. It's the lack of routine, if that makes sense. So I think change is positive, and when you do anything, you're doing it for the right reasons. I've talked about it on a few podcasts. I'm going through significant change in my life at the moment, but all of it is stuff I want, whether it's hard or easy is irrelevant. I want it, so therefore it has to change. But that does mean that my routine changes. So I have an issue with my routine changing more than the changes, and I just have to settle in. And I'll find routine in anything. As soon as I find a slight bit, I'm satisfied. But for now, doing these podcasts from the office rather than at home, meaning I have to drive home. And I'm always amped up after the podcast. Had a great chatted shit, uninterrupted as I am now. Yeah, it always gives me a nice buzz. But anyway, so we are expecting Jake in around 10 minutes. And me and Jake are going to talk about, well, you might have seen the title. So the title of the show this week was Ask and You Shall Not Receive. Now that was a little play on a title that we had a few weeks back where it was Ask and You Shall Receive. So the point of that podcast was the 21-day birthday challenge we did at the Defiant Co, where basically I just asked people to buy something every day for 21 days, and they did. So it was a kind of a spin on sales techniques, sales processes, I guess psychology in some ways, that if you do things in the right way and you ask for things in the right way, if people are bought in and believe in what you're doing, whether that's selling something, opening a gym, all that sort of stuff, if you do things in the right way, people will respond well to it. And I found that from that process of putting myself out there every single day. I've talked about it before. I was inspired by what Travis did at Vindicate. He did a 54-day challenge, I think, back end of last year all the way up to New Year. He was trying to sell one Vindicate branded item each day. And yeah, so it is hard because you're putting yourself out there, but everyone rallied around him just like they have for us. And we're in the middle of the biggest streak we've ever had. Like, I know I've talked about it. Some days go by with no online sales. I can't remember the last, well, I can because I've looked at it, obviously. But 24th of Jan was the last time we didn't actually, 24th, we had a sale. So we're approaching 50 days in a row with online orders, and that's just amazing. Like, so yeah, so that is the title of the show. And the reason it is what it is, and Asking You Shall Not Receive, is because I've got some very recent experiences. And it happens quite frequently, actually, with the brand, where people come to you and ask for stuff. And, you know, there's a way to do that, and there's a way that really turns me off. And so I'm going to delve into that with Jake. But before that, I'm just going to do a little bit of, there was a couple of questions last week when I was on my own that I didn't get around to answering because Jake jumped on. And someone asked what events we've got lined up this year with the brands. So I'm going to go through those for you. So calling out some of the bigger ones. So we're going to do a boatload of box comps because we love those. So we'll be at them. But the first, what you'd, I guess, consider like big one that we're going to be hitting is World Fitness Project. So we've signed the contract to do that, which is over May Bank holiday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that is like, you know, that's going to be massive, because when we think about events from a vendor point of view, you know, when people think about World Fitness Project, it's easy to say, oh, well, you know, not all top athletes are going and all that. But especially in Europe and especially in London, people show up for comps. So we're looking at it from a vendor point of view. We won't get to watch any of the action on the floor. So I couldn't get two shits if, like, you know, Jason Hopper's not turned up. It's not about that. It's about the people, getting to interact with people, getting to speak to people, getting to meet members of the community, and obviously sell some shit, which is why we go in. But yeah, so like when I've spoke to a few people and saying, well, such and such isn't there, I don't think they understand how it works from a community point of view, from a vendor point of view, because that won't detract from our experience. It will be absolutely rammed, and it's going to be amazing. My business partner's away. She's normally the one that gathers the data on our spin the wheel. So we've got her glamorous sister that's going to come and give us a hand. Jake's going to be on hand as well in some kind of media capacity. So whether he knows it or not, he'll be helping me out. But yeah, so we're looking forward to World Fitness Project, our first experience of them. So it'll be interesting to see how they do things, how they set things up. If it is, you know, I don't know, as you'd imagine, like, because obviously they've got quite significant investment and finances and backing. So you'd imagine everything to be pretty special, really, in terms of a vendor experience point of view. And so far, my experience in dealing with the people at WFP has been really good. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Weekend in London as well, which is always fun. And when we do these events as well, like, you always end up wanting to, well, I do, party a little bit because you have such a good day. So we'll see what happens there. See if we can get Jake to have half a Guinness. I think he has one every birthday, I think. So see if we can coax him in. And then other than that, we're going to do Southwest Regionals, which is a really fucking cool comp that's just grown and grown and grown. We're doing that in August. That's down in Bath. So that'd be really cool. I've been speaking to Ellie there to secure that. We did that a couple of years ago. Like I've alluded to a few times, like last year we didn't do as many online, but in-person comps, well, barely any. So we'll be back on the road this year, and that's one that we're doing, and that'll be really cool. And then the week after that, I think it's the week after. Yeah, the week after, it's the European Championships for the International Functional Fitness Federation. So as we're sponsors of Team UK, we'll be there as well, and that's in Bath as well, at the same location, I believe. So I'm hoping I can set my shit up and leave it, because it's all right fuck about packing that down and up and down. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do that. But we've got that. And then we have got Coaches Congress. And that is one that we're going there with Defiant Print Services as opposed to the Defiant Co. And I cannot wait for that. That is the one that, as soon as we had the opportunity to get stuck into that was an absolute no-brainer. What Henrik and Heather are doing there is insane. And to be part of that, like, I'm really proud that we're able to be part of it. And then obviously off the back of that, what that creates as well and what that'll do for the business is massive, because we're basically in a room full of people that need our services. So from a sort of vendor point of view, when I go places with the Defiant Co, fucking frog in my throat. When I go places with the Defiant Co, it's a kind of choice. Nobody needs merch. They want it. Nobody needs it. When we go to Coaches Congress, every single person that owns a gym or is a manager of a gym or manager of a PT, whatever you might be, whatever your reason for going to Coaches Congress is, there's a high probability that, you know, a good percentage, say 95, 99, I don't know, maybe even 100% of those people actually need someone that prints and provides merch. So, you know, like I say, the Defiant Co, people want merch, they don't need it. When we go to Coaches Congress, everybody will need our services. And I don't mean just us specifically, but they will need a printer in order to kit their members out, kit their clients out, whatever it may be. So we're in a room full of people that need our services, which makes the conversations much easier, because people are going to approach you, talk to you about what you can offer. We've got some pretty cool stuff lined up for how we're going to showcase what we do. So I'm not going to go into any more detail about that to the one live viewer, because I don't want to spoil the surprise. But we're going to try and do things a bit different and really showcase what Defiant Print Services is all about, because it's, like I said, it's a massive opportunity in a room full of customers that absolutely 100% need our services. Whether it's ours or not is irrelevant. They need the services we provide. So it's up to us how good we are in order to convert them into it. So excited for that. And then more closer. On Friday, I'm at 179 CrossFit. You see Johnny Davis and the boys, third in the UK for open sign-ups, unbelievable. So we're down there for 26.3. Excited to see what that workout is as well. A lot of rumours flying about what that could be. But yeah, we're going to go down at some point, I'm not sure when, and set up for Friday evening basically, and just be there for their crew, see their final Friday Night Lights of the year. So I'm really excited for that. And like I said, I've never been down there. It's got a Rogue plaque. Apparently, it's a Rogue equipped gym, which is a bone of contention for the gym I go to, Elliot at the project. So his bone of contention is not with Johnny and 179, it's with Rogue. So every single thing in Elliot's gym's Rogue, and he ain't got a plaque. He's wounded. So Johnny, keep an eye on your plaque, mate. I might be taking it off wall and nipping it back to Chesterfield. Elliot's got me undercover for it, mate. So watch out. Right, so that's what we've got coming up. But another question I got asked actually is about wearables. And I'm just going to go on this tangent, and I might keep doing this until Jake arrives and we can get to the bones of the show. But someone asked what my position is on wearables, and I think that, well, I fucking like go mad for closing my rings on my Apple Watch. I think like no one ever believes me, so I'm going to get it out. I think I'm at about 850 days of ring closure. That's a weird way to put it, isn't it? 836 days. I don't know if you can see that there. And that means that I have closed my rings through movement. They're my settings. So we have 1,000 calories through movement, 90 minutes of exercise, and stand up 12 times. Which if you're not standing up 12 times, why are you even wearing a watch? And it's sort of a addiction in a way. But so like, and what I mean by that is like, there's been times when I've like maybe gone for a walk at 9:30 at night just to close my rings. And I think when you start thinking about wearables and the benefits versus the actual science and stuff like that, it's interesting because I doubt anybody's under the complete false illusion that they're 100% accurate. But if they drive behaviors in you that make you do a little bit more, does it matter? You know what I mean? Like, did I really burn 300 calories on a hour walk? No, probably not. Maybe. I don't know, actually. I don't know how the science of that works. Depends on many variables. But what I do know is after wearing an Apple Watch for what? I don't know, best part of 3 years now, 4 years, it will be consistent even if it's incorrect. So therefore the trends and the data is still relevant, because even if it's inaccurate, the fluctuations in it will be relevant to the inaccurate start. So what I mean by that is if it says you burnt more calories on one day than you did on the other, whether the starting point was wrong or right, that will be right. And you'll start to notice those trends, won't you? So I think there's a point to them that if they make you do more, I don't think it matters if they're scientifically 100% accurate or not. So I think there's a massive place for it because it does drive those behaviors. We all know there's people that never did anything, get a Fitbit, and then they're doing 10,000 steps a day. Like, what does it matter? Like, the accuracy's not important. So when you see all these influencers saying, oh, it don't matter, don't wear your watch, don't do this, I just think they're fucking morons because, I don't know, if it make like me, when I've gone out 9:30 at night to do a couple of extra steps to hit my goal, there is no net negative to that. You could say that it's mental and you could say that I'm crazy for doing it, but does it matter if I've done something that's actually good for me? And any form of exercise, movement or anything's good for you. So yeah, I think I read once, I don't know if I read it or heard it, where someone said it's a life hack to be addicted to things that are good for you or things that make you better. And I think that's such a powerful thing to think about it, a powerful way to think about it. Because if you think about like training, you know, like there's those people that don't go to the gym and they'll be like, oh, you're addicted. I'm like, yeah, I am. And that's fucking good. Like if you are addicted to things that make you better, that is the ultimate life hack. And yeah, so things like whether it's Apple Watch or Whoop or Garmin, whatever, pick your poison. If it's making you do more, then it's fucking great. Like the only thing I would say about the data, I guess in a way you do have to be slightly thick-skinned with it, because we all know that person that like wakes up, bounces out of bed and is like, oh, I feel great today. And then they check the Whoop and it tells them the recovery is 7%. And then they automatically go, oh, actually, I don't feel that good. Like, you're looking at the wrong things and using the wrong metrics to gauge the positive return from them if you're doing things like that. Like, you shouldn't let it dictate to you how you feel, but equally, if used in the right way to make you do an extra 500 steps or an extra 10 minutes of a workout, then they're absolutely positive and an amazing add-on. So yeah, that's my take on those, on wearables. And then my next question was, what makes a good CrossFit box? So I'm actually going to do a show on this. I'm going to do one of the Wednesday shows that I do. I'm going to talk about the 5 best CrossFit gyms in the UK. And I'm not going to do all that shit, you know, what people do where they're always like, oh, like, it's a tie and I can't pick between this and that because they don't want to upset or offend anyone. I don't really care, because if I think you're in the top 5 gyms in the UK and you're pissed off that you're third and not first, then, you know what, do better. That's all I'll say. Because the reason I'm going to do that is I'm not going to call anyone out for being bad, because to be fair, I don't think I've been to many bad ones. But I've been to, in fact, I'll tally that up as well. I must have been to, I don't know, 50, 60, maybe more in the UK. Because if you think about being on the road with the Defiant Co for as long as we have visited loads of CrossFit gyms, and then all the ones just from a drop-in point of view from when I've been away or done bits and bobs. So I'm initially going to try and make a list of all the ones I've been to. Just charging my watch. Don't want to miss out on any stuff. Look at that fucking burns. Ooh, bit of fluff. Lovely. So yeah, I'm going to make a list of every CrossFit gym I've been to in the UK. In fact, I might just do it in the world, because I've been to a few in the States and other places when I've been away and dropped in. So I'm going to make a list of every CrossFit gym I've been to. I'm not going to rank them, because, like I say, I don't want to say that one gym's the worst out of everyone I've been to, because I think that is negative, and I could understand people being emotional or upset about that, because everyone thinks their CrossFit gym's the best, don't they? But I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to pick the 5 best. I'm going to rank them 1 to 5, obviously, because there's 5, and I'm going to give my reasons for that. So they're going to be a varied bunch of reasons, because when I just start thinking about the ones I've been to now, and the ones that would definitely be in my top 10, and then I can like refine to pick my top 5, they're all in there for very, very different reasons. So watch this space for that. Oh, Jake is, because I'm running out here. Fuck me, running mega late, still at the pool. Right. We are in trouble then. So I guess it's just going to be me talking to myself for a little bit more about this, this bit, because like I said, I've got a unique, is it unique? But I've got a sort of perspective on how you should approach people when you either want help, you want assistance, or you want freebies. And I find that, I don't know if it's like misguided or what, but I feel like people look at brands such as us. I'm going to obviously use us as the example. So you might be running a competition. Oh, I'm not alone. I've got a friend. How do you, mate? Hope you're good. So if, subject to the show, ask and you shall not receive. Like I said at the start, it's a play on ask and you shall receive that we did a few weeks back about our sales and our birthday success. And this is ask and you shall not receive. Now, what I'm saying here is I get through the Defiant Co's Instagram, or then it directs them to the email or the contact us page on the website, more requests than you would probably believe, with people just coming to me and saying, I've got this thing coming up, can you send me some prizes? And a lot of them, and I can generalize because nobody knows what I'm talking about, a lot of them don't even offer anything in return. And what I mean by that is, if you are going to ask someone for something, I strongly believe it should be mutually beneficial in some capacity. It's different when it's a charity, When you're doing things for charity, I think that's your choice to be charitable for a charity. But if it's just a box comp and they just want some prizes, I think there's a way of going about that. So it's weird, mate. They don't always necessarily say, I want X, Y, and Z. They're a little bit like, I've got this coming up. Can you do this? Some will ask for small ticket items. But what I'm coming to here is a lot of them can't be specific enough because they have no fucking idea what we do. And I think that's one of the main sources of frustration I have with it because, you know, if you don't ask, you don't get. There's that sort of mentality. But I got one recently where it was like, it's a DM on Instagram and it was like, I really love your brand, followed you for ages, all this stuff. And this long monologue of why, saying they bought from us in the past, all this stuff. And I don't know why, but I'm that way inclined. I was like, I don't recognize this name. I don't recognize this gym. I looked at it, didn't recognize anything. And then I looked and they didn't follow us on Instagram. I looked at this guy, like, didn't actually follow us. You know what I mean? So we'll come back to that in a minute. But then I looked at this guy because his name was on the DM and he'd not ordered from us ever. So not only did he lie, he didn't do the basic, I don't know, he didn't do anything in order to support his case. Now, what I mean by that is, like, at least try and be a bit subtle. You know what I mean? So maybe if you know you've got a competition coming up and you're thinking about asking some brands for some free shit, maybe follow them a couple of months before so that then they don't know if you follow them. You know, if you follow them on that day, a couple of days before, maybe they'll see it when they'll scroll because the natural instinct is to have a scroll to see if they're on your immediate feed, isn't it? So surely you'd have the presence of mind to follow in advance, not actually just copy and paste a message, send it to 20 brands that's just a load of bullshit. So that's an immediate, easy fix for anyone that's asking for free stuff. And the second thing is, like, offer something in return. Because one of the things I'll say is, I might not necessarily want what you offer in return, but I'm immediately going to feel much warmer and much more, I don't know, inclined to help if you've, and when I say offer, you know, we're a vendor. If you've got a comp coming up, say, do you want to come and vendor at our comp in exchange for some prizes for the podium or some judges t-shirts or some vouchers or something? Like, give me something so that I can give you something. And that's just common courtesy, surely. And I think, like, then it's like a collaboration then. We're working together, isn't it? Because the other thing that people will say on the back of it is, oh, well, we'll share you on socials and we'll do this and we'll do that. And, you know, we all know how social media is. It's hard enough to get clicks, views and likes as it is without, I don't know, if a gym or a person or a brand shared something to their followers, it gets seen once and then that's it, isn't it? And it barely gets seen by all their followers. Like, I know from posting the stuff we do, you know, our reels on average are getting around 2,000 views. We've got nearly 13,000 followers. So, you know, we're at like, what's that? Bad maths, 15%. So 15% of people see what we post. You know, if you've only got 1,000 followers, that's far less people, far less likely to take action, far less likely to engage with us just off the back of one post. So you've got to think about what you're asking from brands in order to get a return. And the other thing that, let me just have a look, what's Mark saying? Oh, mate. Not what would I be tempted to message you about a discount code like I was running an event. Yeah, something like that works better. But equally, I want you to think about it. I want you to earn it, like, in a weird sort of way. And I don't mean that in like a really dickhead way. I just think that it shouldn't be as simple as, can I have this? You know, you would never walk into a shop on the high street. Well, some people would, but most, you know, decent human beings wouldn't walk into a shop and say, can I have this? Because you know the answer is no. And then what you've got to look at is, us as a small brand, you wouldn't fucking message Nike, would you? Who have infinite resources, multi-million pound, is it £1 billion company? You won't DM them and say, can you send me some free shit from your local scale comp? So why do you think it's appropriate to go to small brands who have less resources, less disposable income, less product, and ask them for something in exchange for absolutely nothing? And I just, it baffles me. And I remember like at this, and as well, I think the only people, this is what I guess kind of adds to this, the only people that are going to give you the stuff are the ones that are so raw and so naive that it's actually to their detriment. And I say that through experience, because when I was younger, fucking hell, I'm an old bastard. But when I was like, when the brand was coming up and the brand was younger, if people asked for stuff, they got it usually, because I just thought that any publicity was good publicity, any press was good press. But it just wasn't, because you got nothing back from it at all. Like, so like I say, the people that are more likely to give you stuff in order to try and support are the ones that probably shouldn't even more, because they're not in a position to. And also, you're not quite as experienced and not quite as one night stand mentality. You know, it's been a while. But like the other thing to consider is like, as a brand, if people are approaching you for things and you do want to, you think, right, this could be useful for us, this might help get our name out. One of the things you need to make sure you do is just exchange it for some form of data. So if they want to do something with you, can you host a sign-up page on their website? Can you provide them with a link to push out to their members so that they could win something in exchange for data? So do something, anything that, if you, like I say, if you feel the need to support, which technically it is, then do it in exchange for something that you can, as a brand, use moving forward. Like a social media post, like I said, it's great, but no one sees it and it's gone. You know, they'll be like, oh, we'll put you on stories, oh, we'll add you to our like social media bio, with all this stuff that no one gives a shit about. You know what it's like now on socials. It's dog eat dog. Everything's fucking swipe. Everything's quick. Everything's like next thing. You're getting nothing for posts. But data, once you capture data from people, you can use it to onward market. And if you do that properly via effective emailing or texting or WhatsApp, whatever you use in order to contact your database, that's valuable. So if you do want to help out as a brand, make sure you get that stuff. But let's get back to the point of people coming to you and asking for something for nothing. So these are the steps you need to take in order to not immediately piss someone off that you're asking for something. One, make sure you follow them a few days before, a few weeks before, so that when they see you pop up on their feed, it's not a surprise. Like, that's key. Do not lie in your message to them. So like I said, that guy that said that he'd bought from us loads of times and it was great, he was a fucking liar. And I knew that. And I am that guy that will check, just because I'm maybe too close to things such as that, but I make it my business because I'm proud every time someone buys something from us. I am proud of that sale. Every fucking one. I don't care what someone spends. Anybody that has come onto our website and bought anything, whether it's £5 pair of socks in the sale or a 200 quid order of multiple eternity hoodies, I'm proud that they've come to us, to our brand, and decided to give us money. That makes me fucking proud. So I recognize names, I recognize people, and I pride myself on that. And like I say, maybe I am too much in the detail with things like that, but I think that's what makes us relatable. That's what makes us community driven. And that's what makes people keep coming back. I was looking at our stats for this year. We've got a 50% customer return rate this year. That's insane. So that in itself gives me immense pride. So like I say, if you're going to come to me and tell me you bought from me and you like my products, you better have fucking done it, because I'll probably know. So like I say, that's an immediate turn off. So just be honest, if all you've got is, I don't know, if someone messaged me saying, give me some free shit, You know, I'm a little bit warmer to that than I am to your big lying monologue about what you can't do for me but think you can, and how you bought all my products and I don't even know your name. So there's just a way. I think it was Sevon that said it on one of his podcasts once. Like, you should be going to people and offering to solve, especially if it's someone you want to work with, offer to solve a problem or provide a service to them. And then, I don't know if that's proving yourself or it's cutting your teeth with them, whatever your terminology is, you've given something. And the moment you give, if you want to look at it from a psychological point of view, someone will feel indebted to you, if you wanted it to sound all manipulative. So that could be your way. But equally, in this community that we find ourselves within, we're working with great people that do great things all the time, and they want the whole community to rise together. So if you do something for someone in this community, they will do something for you, or someone else will. Word gets round. So it's not that difficult. But yeah, just cold messaging after no effort, no warm up, no, I don't know. It just comes across as really entitled. And then you've also got to consider, and like I said about socials, socials aren't exactly what they used to be, but we've got 13,000 followers, kind of a big deal. So if you come to me with your, again, this sounds dickish, but it's not meant to be, but if you come to me and your offer for me providing hundreds of pounds worth of prizes is for you to post on your story to your 1,200 followers, how does that benefit us as a brand? Like we've talked about, a very small percentage of people actually see people's stories and all that stuff. So get your offering right, or, there's loads of things you can do. And the thing with brands is it's the event, because if I've got a free weekend and someone asks me to go to an event with the stall, I'll probably do it. Like it doesn't, we've been to in-house comps where there's just been 15 teams competing, like in just a pure in-house comp. We love it. We love going out and speaking to people, getting involved, chatting. So, and we can make anything work, from a store point of view. We've done 6x6 at Arnold and Rogue, but we've also done where I can just squeeze a rail in and stand next to it. We don't care where we go. We love being in and around the community. So, and I think a lot of brands are the same. That's why they do it, because they're passionate about the space, passionate about the people. So offer, you can come to our comp and we just need this, there's lots of comps that I asked to go to, and they're, I'm going there. They're providing me a free space. And then I'm then saying to them, what can I do for you while I'm there? And they're not presumptuous, and they're actually offering us something. So you've just got to just be a bit smarter with how you decide to position, especially when it's an ask. And like I say, just think about that. But when you're writing that message out, think, would I send this to Nike? Would I send it to Gymshark? Would I walk into, I don't know what high street shops are still open, fucking Vapes or Us and Costa, and ask for a freebie? If the answer's no, then just think about it in that way. Think, right, how can I approach this brand? How can I make it mutually beneficial? How can I make them remember me? And how can we work together? Because that's the key. If you get us to work with you, then we can both help each other make that comp amazing for the members or the consumers. And that is what's ultimately important, because we want the space to grow, we want the scene to grow, and we want everybody to have a good time at comp so that they keep going back. So, ask and you shall not receive if you ask like an entitled moron. And that's the moral of the story, and that is the subject of the podcast. And we've done it before Jake's even got his little willy out the pool. Yep, I did just say willy. It's really worrying, isn't it? A crap word. So what else have we got? Can I talk about anything else before Jake arrives? I don't like it. What Jake's done there as well. Running mega late, still at the pool. That was 17 minutes ago. There's no context. Come on, Jake, you're better than that. I don't know what that means. Where's the pool in relation to your house? Are you likely to get out of the pool anytime soon? Are you going to be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour? I don't know what's happening. So did I get any other questions that I haven't addressed? In fact, where did we land on that? So where did we land? That's fair, isn't it, what I've just said about asking you shall not receive? I know, this is what I mean. See, like Heidi's like just sat here patiently thinking, where the fuck's Jay? I'm listening to this weirdo bang on about nonsense. Come on, Heidi, why don't you ask me a question? You've got some good questions and you like to probe and you don't care what you say and who you say it to. I think I love how you are in comment sections. You always make good points. Ask me anything. Let's fill this blank air, dead space, dead air, blank space. Jake's stuck in a swimming pool, by the way, Heidi. It's a bit cold and he's embarrassed to get out until it warms up a touch. That's what I've heard. But if you've got a question, I'd be willing to answer it. What do you think to that? Do you like my picture? It's cool, isn't it? The black sheep. Are you allowed to say that? Don't know today, do you? Have to be careful with things like that. Can't say anything. Right, what else did I get asked? What makes a good box? Show on this. People always ask me some really provocative questions, but I've learned that they don't actually want the answer to that. They just want to see me implode. So I've glossed over those. Oh yeah, one thing that someone asked me about was what's my position on people that are late? And I just think it's second to eating with your mouth open. Probably one of the rudest things you can do is be late, because that's just you saying that your time's more valuable than someone else's, isn't it? And people that are always late always have the same excuses. And when you think about that in terms of a CrossFit class, because that's something that we can probably all relate to, it just disrupts the entire class, doesn't it? Like someone coming in late in the middle of the warm-up, or even if they're a little bit later than that, it's after the warm-up. It's shit on the coach, it's shit on the class, and you know, you're late every single fucking day, so get your shit together. Right. Oh, let's should we talk about what the Open could be? What do we want to see? One of the strongest rumors going around, and it's weird, isn't it, that rumors gather tracks when it comes to the Open, because there is no source of truth. Because Dave is arguably the most tight-lipped man in the world. I feel like he is impenetrable. So nobody knows, really, do they, outside of his immediate circle? And I assume that over the years, because of various leaks of various events and such, that circle's got significantly smaller, to the point where the NDA that are signed, people could potentially be, I don't know, I guess they'd definitely know who it was. So I think that, yeah, all the rumors that go around about what people think it is are just purely someone deciding. Like Stephen Rayner in our group the other day, last week, he had a source for what the workout were going to be, and it turned out it was just something that Taylor Self had concocted, and it had done the rounds and come through as a credible source, and it was absolutely nothing like the workout. So obviously Taylor wouldn't know. I assume he's one of the last people David tell after he was booted from the CAC. But yeah, in terms of the rumors that I've heard, and it's one of them, isn't it? You know, when rumors go around, it's weird how the rumor that you like the sound of the most is the one that you roll with. So the one that I like the sound of the most is it 22.2? The burpee over the bar and deadlift ladder. Well, it was a ladder. Was it a ladder? Did you call it a ladder? It was just ascending, descending, wasn't it? 1 up to 10, down to 1. And I said it in our continuing group the other day or earlier, that what I would like about it being that workout, that would mean that out of all 3 open workouts, none of them could be finished by the layman. And what I mean by that is only the best of the best of the best are completing the first workout, the ring muscle up workout. Maybe not the best of the best of the best for the ring muscle up one. I think there were quite a few people that finished it, but you know what I'm getting at. Your average box goer is getting nowhere near it. And that deadlift one's the same. So it would be really cool that, you know, the free workouts that were programmed in the Open were just not able to be finished by your average box goer, because that is the art of CrossFit, isn't it? Programmed for the best and scale for the rest. And while I'm not necessarily saying it's scaled, it is, in essence, if you're not finishing it, maybe something that you should have done. Repeats are gay. Are they? How would a repeat be gay? Oh, you just are using gay just as a sort of descriptive word for something that you don't like. It's a bit homophobic, that, Sean. I don't know how I feel about that. I am obviously joking. That's one of them things that people say, isn't it? That, you know, when you say something's gay like that, you don't mean it in any form of derogatory way, but it's just become part of people's vocabulary or vernacular or whatever you say. And it comes across as you don't even know you've said it, do you? It's a weird thing. But it obviously must have started with some negativity. But words, eh? You have to be careful in these days. It can be used as weapons and really upset people. It's really mean. Yeah. Yeah. That's what's weird, isn't it? Yeah. Nailed it. What are you, Sean? What are you saying, mate? What do you want for 26.3? What would be your wheelhouse workout? Anyone that's in the comments, any workouts you'd love to see. It doesn't have to be what you think it might be. Just what would be great for you. What would come up and you'd be like, right, I'm going to fucking nail this. I don't have any of those. I would look forward to. I'd like a long workout. I would. I think I like long workouts at a low skill. So third workout of the Open. I think I'm clutching at straws a bit, aren't I, for that? But that'd be my sort of dream. What we got? Seeing the athletes lined up and what? I hope we get upside down. See, someone was on about this at the gym, and they said that we'd have to go upside down because we haven't yet. But then someone said, maybe we won't. It's just weird, isn't it? Everyone has a fear. Everyone because people keep saying that thrusters have been in the Open every year. So there has to be thrusters. It's like there are all these just biases. And I think that, you know, like, is there anything else out there? Let's think about that. That an entire community of people spend a complete week guessing, hoping, wishing, and have no idea, not one idea of what it could be. Because I think it's a very unique thing, isn't it, CrossFit, when you think about the variables that are contained within it. Like, you know, when there's a football match coming up or a soccer match, you could arguably name the score, you know, predict the score, predict a goal scorer. And, you know, especially if you look at a Premier League fixture list, 10 fixtures a weekend, you could probably pick 7 of the winners as a rule, you know, pretty easily. You know, you could predict things like that. You could predict like paths to cup finals, and, you know, you see all this stuff on the NFL and all the American football, all the stats, what they produce with, you know, like all the yardage and all that kind of good stuff. It's all kind of something that you can almost use stats. You know, we also, was it Moneyball, the baseball film, based on the true story about someone that just looked at all the stats and all the information that much that they could come up with an efficient, cost-effective way of developing a World Series championship winning team. But like when you look at CrossFit, there is no predictive values whatsoever in any of the workouts and any of the movement standards and all that stuff. You could be there forever guessing what 26.3 is and not even get close. Because the thing that I feel like that one of the main things is, if you even take out the rep range, which could be anything, then you've got the time domain that could be anything. So I'm doing a giveaway at the moment on our story on the Defiant Co, where I've said if anybody gets the workout right in its entirety, we'll give them 250 quid. And we started off saying we'll give them 250 quid to spend online with us. And I just changed it to you can have 250 quid cash, because I was like, fuck it. Someone gets it, they deserve it. Oh, he's here, just as I've had enough. Fuck you now. Here he is, look.
motel, Holiday Inn.
Mate,
Right?
I'm not staying long now. I'm tired.
I know. Yeah, long day.
What
How
happened?
are you? Well, it's officially. I've got, what's the time? I've got just over 4 hours left of my birthday.
It's your birthday today?
It is.
You there? It's his birthday. I did not know that. His connection's gone. Oh, he's back. Oh, I don't know what I've done here.
Uh-oh. What is going on?
I did not know it was your birthday.
Yeah.
I've been talking to you all day and I've not said happy
anyone
birthday.
hear
That's
me?
so rude.
What's going on?
I can hear you.
Is it me?
I think it's you. 1, 2.
What's the crack?
Can you hear me,
So
Sean?
shit.
Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Is it me?
I'm back. Am I back now?
I can hear you.
Right.
I could hear you before though.
Oh, no. I can't hear you. Hang on. I'm going to
Might be me
switch to
then.
Ethernet. See if it makes... I don't know. I can hear both of you. Right, okay. So it's StreamYard then. There we go.
So we can't hear
me
each other. So I can hear you, but you can't hear me.
Oh my God. Terrible. Right, I'm going to switch to Ethernet. It's probably me. I've had a
We could have a
fantastic
conversation.
day today.
We could have a conversation through Sean because he can hear both of us.
Yeah. Hang on. Wait a minute. I'm going to just see if I can come back in. Hang on.
I'm big. Can't believe I didn't know it was Jake's birthday. I've been talking to him all day. It's rude, that, isn't it? Well, I guess it's not. I'm not psychic, but you know what I mean. Yeah, that's a good point.
Hello. That's not very nice.
Yeah, is that why you got booted, mate?
Maybe. Who knows?
Happy birthday. I can't believe I've been speaking to you all day. Like voice notes, texts and everything. I've just
I never tell anyone. I'm not too fussed.
How old are you? 41?
41, yeah.
Well, at least I knew how old you were.
Do you know what? I've had a lovely day. I took the kids to school, trained. I went to a funeral. My great aunt, my nan's sister, and then I took my daughter to swimming lessons at club swimming, and it just ran over massively. There's like 60 of them in the pool, so it just went over. But I raced home. We had to do a bit of cake, like my birthday cake, before they went to bed. So I've rushed that through to get on.
What a guy! And then you get on, and I'm like, I'm going to bed soon.
Yeah. Well, I've got a bottle of beer in the fridge for myself tonight. Thought I'd
You're going to treat yourself. Saturday beers come early.
Yeah. We go for pizza on Saturday as well, which will be quite nice.
Have you got a good pizza place on the island?
Yeah, there's this guy called Bayram he's like Brazilian, and he's got this pizza place, and it's looking out in this like lovely like seaside village, and it's like high up, and you're looking over the sea, and like the sun sets down at like over Ireland, and it's amazing. So we're going there. You can literally see the Irish coast from the restaurant.
I was looking at a bit of Isle of Man the other day. I was just, you just end up in weird rabbit holes, and I was like, when I was looking at it, the more I looked at it, the more I was like, I could fucking live there. It looks so chill. Like
it's one of those places where I would love to invite a load of people over just during the TT, during the races, and just say, like, sleep downstairs in my living room, just on the sofa or blow up bed or whatever, and just fucking have a few days of watching the bikes, enjoying the weather, going to the beach and just having a couple of beers. It's amazing.
Yeah. Is that the time to go though, where it would do it justice? Because that's when it's descended on by every man and his dog, isn't it?
It is. It's like it doubles in population for those 2 weeks, which is nuts. Like, you think if your town doubled in population for 2 weeks, but the people that come over, like 99% of them are on their bike. They're mostly European, like French, Italian, Spanish, German bike nuts, like as in motorbike enthusiasts. They're all in their leathers, and then they just run around in denim with leather like tops on with a helmet, and they just pull up. The economy gets a pretty big boost from the 2 weeks. Like Brad Pitt and Channing Tatum have been over the last couple of years filming.
Okay.
So they're making a film about a TT driver. But like the whole place is like electric for 2 weeks. It's amazing. It's like the best time to come. If you want a buzz, it's clearly obviously the best time to come over. But to actually like experience the Isle of Man, like it's not what Isle of Man is usually like.
I thought that when you're on about men walking around in denim leather with the helmets. Yeah.
Well, for alphas like Sean, there's loads of pit girls walking around in, you know, small clothes and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, it's a really cool time. But yeah, any other time, like if like July is amazing on the island. Like it's just a couple of tourists come over. Like Tyson Fury's moved here with his family down the road. Like I would imagine he lived in Lancaster and Blackpool, around that area. So they used to come here on holiday a bit, just get on the ferry and come across. And because
that's the most gypsy thing I've ever heard. Like a multi-millionaire just gets on ferry for his holidays.
Yeah,
fucking love that.
There was an amazing clip the other day of him talking to a reporter walking along a beach in Blackpool, because obviously he grew up near Blackpool, and he's saying it in his, I'm not going to do his accent. Anyway, he's basically saying he knows billionaires, he knows millionaires, and he was pointing at these council flats on near the beach. And he said, and I know people that live in that house, and the people in those blocks are happier than the billionaires I know. He was like, genuinely, they have a much happier, peaceful life than the billionaires that I know. And then he starts talking about how he moved to the Isle of Man and stuff, but which is great. But yeah, his son and his daughter are called Adonis and Athena, and mine are Adonis and Athena.
Yeah.
And they've started school 5 minutes down the road from my kids, so we might have to have a bit of a fight to see whose kids get to
don the names.
Yeah.
Why do you think?
How was your day?
It's been all right, mate. It's been non-stop today. It's been pretty good. I love being busy like I have today. You know, when you're that kind of busy where everything's achievable and you're just buzzing off the work. They're rare, because just one little more piece of work drops in and it becomes slightly overwhelming or something, and you start thinking, shit, how am I going to get it all done? But it's been nice. I finished about 10 to 5. I've got my C2 back in the office now because I moved out of my house. I haven't got a room. So finished work about 10 to 5. Got on C2 back till 6. Had something to eat. Did a bit and then jumped on here, mate. I've been chatting and rambling for the last hour or so.
See that painting behind you?
Mm-hmm.
That print. Are you the black sheep?
It's more of it's a metaphorical thing. So my business partner got it before she left.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, that I won't necessarily say it was me, but it's more, yeah, like we pride ourselves on not following the herd. You know what I mean? That's one of the things we say: don't follow the herd, proudly refuse to obey authority, make your own path. And I think that black sheep mentality encapsulates that really well. So when we moved into this office and with the production and stuff we've got set up, obviously it's a big step, and it's one of those that, you know, it took balls on both our parts to do. So that's kind of that reminder of, yeah, we're doing something that most people probably wouldn't have, but we backed ourselves to be able to fulfill it and take it to the next level. And every time I look at that, I still only get it on fucking wall actually because it's just propped up. But every time I look at that, it's like, because it's going to go right where I sit here. There's a space on the wall between the boards. I'm going to put it there. So every time I'm trying to do something, you know, you get that sort of oh fuck moment. It'd be like, right, no, you wanted this, now fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Have you got any tattoos on your arms that do that for you?
I've got, so that's the one that you'd probably say, Memento Mori, because that was the first tattoo I had when I was 40 before I even had a tattoo, and I've got them covered now. But that's the one because I heard it at bizarrely a business conference, and someone was talking about like it was, don't wait for opportunities because you never know what's around the corner. It was more that sort of be motivated, treat every day like it's your last day, but not in a reckless way, just in a, did you give everything today? Did you do all you could do? Did you be all you could be? And after that, you remember, I think it was on the last podcast I talked about when I ended up in hospital, and that was when I had that real epiphany style moment. So that conference, that was the conference that I got the food poisoning at, that I ended up in hospital. So then when I came out of hospital with this renewed vigor for life and this ambition to fulfill my potential and all that, I was like, right, I'm having that tattooed. And it was that sort of, because you can see what she's done, the tattoo artist. It's like the life touching death as well, with the sun in the middle to encapsulate the light. And then that's the date, 12/10. It's like a little tattoo on the tattoo. And that's the date that when I almost died. So it kind of brings it together. So I see that, and that's my one that's like, that's why it's there, because I can always see that one. You know what I mean? The inside and out.
That's good.
What about you? Have you got any that sort of resonate in that way?
Yeah, I mean, I see mine. I've built mine like tiny bit at a time, and I've made for sure each bit that I've added has like a purpose and a meaning within the bigger picture. And the most annoying thing about today and that funeral was I had 3 hours booked in this afternoon and I had to cancel it, but I've moved it to Friday. But in all honesty, it's probably a good thing because I've sat at the pool tonight for a couple of hours, actually coming up with different ideas to add. So I've messaged her and I said, "Can you work this in?" But I've got like a quote. Man, every time I hear the song Jerusalem, I got hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. I don't know what it is about that fucking song and that tune. As an Englishman, it's like your call to arms. And
it should be our national anthem by far.
It should definitely be our national anthem. Anyone listens to that, you pump that shit up and you are going into battle, right?
And the only time I ever played it was before bloody cricket.
Yeah, well, rugby obviously play it now as well. But like, I remember being at Twickenham watching England France, and this is what 2014, 15. And it was blasting out the speakers, and everyone in Twickenham was fucking like launching it. And oh my God. And anyway, there's a line in it, and I'm going to get that line put somewhere. I'm kind of, I got that there. I've got like a pattern that's going to come up here, and I've got this motive of like the crows coming off the tree. So they're flying this way, and then I'm that one there. And I'm going to have like all my family are on here. Like I've got pictures of my daughter and my wife and my dad and my mum and all that shit. And I'm going to get like a skull motif down here for death. Like that's going to be the death sign. But down here, I'm going to get two lines of script in there. One from Jerusalem and one from Psalms 23. Fear no evil. Yeah. The full line is I shall fear no evil. But I don't like the I shall. I just like fear no evil. I love that. What are you going to have
from Jerusalem?
Oh, mate.
I will not cease from mental fight.
No.
Oh God, what a song!
Honestly, I had it on in the car on the way back from the swimming pool because I'd just been looking at like the lines. Let
me just answer this. Where is it? Shawnee. From food poisoning. Yeah, it did sound a bit gay, that, didn't it? That I nearly died from food poisoning, but I got E. coli and then my kidneys shut down and I had pneumonia as well. Yeah, I had a bit of a bad time with it, mate. Nothing to do with sesh I've been on for 3 weeks beforehand.
Yeah. I didn't nearly die from it, but I did have food poisoning, and fuck me, I was in a bad way. And I got reactive arthritis as a result of it. And then my ankles and knees broke. I was on crutches for 6 months,
Okay.
and I had to be on sulfasalazine, which is a cancer drug. It suppresses the immune system. It honestly, like, all from rotten chicken.
Gotta watch that chicken, mate. Red meat all the way.
Yeah. So the stanza that I like is "Bring me my bow of burning gold, bring me my arrows of desire, bring me my spear, O clouds unfold, bring me my chariot of fire."
Chariot of fire.
And I like the "Bring me my chariot of fire," but all I think of when I hear that line is chariots of fire. And
yeah,
so it's the line before that: "Bring me my spear, O clouds unfold." Like, and because I'm getting some clouds around the moon with a skull kind of embedded into the moon and stuff, and I love that like reflection on there. So yeah, I'm getting that on Friday. But oh man, but yeah, there we go. So it was good that it didn't happen today. So yeah, because I thought that
it's giving you I've got there's one more. Show you this one, mate, that we've got.
Let's go.
This is going to go on wall as well. The story behind this is really cool.
Oh, mate, I've met him.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How cool is that story about that?
Oh, is it Chile they went to? Like,
it was Rio, wasn't it? Wasn't it? It was one of the Olympics, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was before that, because he did a talk.
Oh, when they lost.
Well, I think it was like 2004. It might have been Atlanta, or no, that was 96.
Athens was 2004, Sydney? Wasn't it?
Was it Sydney?
Sydney was 2000. Athens was 2004. Atlanta was 96.
It was one of those. But so when I worked at Coca-Cola, when we were building up to London 2012, he came and did a big talk at the Velodrome, like, because Coca-Cola obviously is the lead sponsor of the Coke. We were sat in the arena on the Velodrome. All the Coca-Cola enterprises from Europe, like employees, and he was on a mic in the middle talking about his book. I can't remember his name. He's got a double-barrel posho name, but he was talking about the story about it, and it was literally every fucking, it sounds like Matt Fraser mentality, every fucking decision in your life for your training up until the Olympics, will it make the boat go faster? Everything that you do, your haircut, everything you're eating, your shave that you have, every hour of sleep, and they got that mentality, and then they ended up winning gold, didn't they? Like the whole team.
Okay. Well, the thing is, like, there was, what was it? It was 8, wasn't it? It was 8 of them, and it was like for them all. And I didn't hear the story. Like, the story got relayed to us at a conference that we were at, and one of the things that was so powerful as well, because there were that many, if all of them, one of them just said, "Oh, should we go for a pizza tonight?" All it took was one of them to go, "Will it make boat go faster?" So they all held each other accountable in that way, and it was just so inspiring. So that's another one. It's like, whenever you're thinking, I don't know, you pick your phone up to do a task and you end up scrolling Instagram, you look up and see, are you making the boat go fast? Like, fucking hell.
It's a great context. It's easy. It just rolls off the tongue. Will it make the boat go faster?
For the context, or anyone that's thinking, what are they on about? So they're a team of rowers for Team GB, weren't they? And they had a desire to win gold. I think they came last at a big event where they thought they'd not put the work in. They thought they could just turn up, sort of thing, wasn't it? And then did they meet with a psychologist or something that said to them, was that how it started?
And I think it was a psychologist. And then they went off to train at altitude on a lake in Chile somewhere. I think it was like that. And it was, who's going to carry the boats? But it was like, this is, it was either 2000 or 2004, because he didn't win in Beijing, because I remember them saying it wasn't at the last Olympics. So it was either 2000 or 2004. And it was in the 4-year cycle from when they lost considerably badly. And then they met and they were like, what do we need to do? And then it was either the psychiatrist or like whoever it was at Team GB said, you've got to ask yourselves this question: will it make the boat go faster? And they ended up like getting really, really anal about that line, and that they all lived by it for like 2 years. I think it was like halfway through their Olympic cycle. that they picked up, and they went on training camps in Chile, like I said, at like 10,000 feet altitude on a lake, and it was like training like every single aspect of their life. I remember him saying even the seat numbers on the plane on the way back from Chile, they all had to think about, will it make the boat go faster being on a certain part of the plane? Like, I'm going to get ill if I sit at the back of the plane. The air is going to be dirtier at the back, and all these kind of shit. It was like imagine every single decision in your whole entire day is based around, will it make the boat go faster? And that's what they did, and they won gold.
And that's the sort of, whether you want to be elite in sport or elite in business or elite in anything, you have to think about it every second of every day, don't you? And I think that's why so few do. You know, like, it's easy, isn't it, to look at the world now through the lens we have on social media and think everyone's a success, everyone's brilliant, everyone's an elite athlete, everyone's a millionaire. But it's just because that's what you see. The reality is that mentality is so fucking rare because it takes everything in you. Like, I've thought about it a little bit today when, like I said to you, I've been busy, comfortably busy today, which is a weird thing to say. But like, there were times when, I don't know, I could have done a bit more. And it did creep into my head. I was like, how are you ever going to fucking get anywhere if you just do enough? And, you know, I've done, not in a dickhead way, but I've done more today than most people do in a week. But I still had a little bit more to give. And the fact that I didn't give it is, I don't know. It's good that I know that I didn't, but then I always second guess myself and think, why didn't I? If I knew.
Yeah. Well, so like, the difference between, this is why I love the CrossFit so much. I'm bringing it back to CrossFit, right? Is that you can't blag the hard work in CrossFit. But the thing is, people see the end result. And the way that I've equated it to before is people on CrossFit, people on Instagram will put out a picture of like a house, right? So they'll put a picture of a house. And people will look at the house and go, oh, I want the house. That's cool. But what they don't show is them laying every single fucking brick and how long it took them to lay those bricks. And once people have a week in the life of an athlete, putting bricks down and laying bricks and seeing the reality of what it's like, and then the minimal return that they get, people don't want to live that life because they, and the fact remains is that so very people do, because they try it and then they can't stand it. They can't endure it. And there's a reason, there's a reason it's that way, because sport is a meritocracy. The best will get there eventually. You can't be bad and get to the CrossFit Games.
No.
You can't be shit at anything and get there.
Do you think, I think you said it on a show that either we were on or I listened to you talk about it on, where when you talked about how people like Tyson and people like that have had terrible upbringings and then they've just got this burning rage of desire inside them to be successful. Do you think, like, you know, let's use me as an example, you know, like today when I had a great day's work, done loads, but still feel like I could have done a little bit more. Do you think because people that don't have that terrible, almost detrimental motivation inside him, do you think that's the slight difference in those scenarios? Because I've always had a comfortable life. Do you think that's where I've still just done enough today? I've done more than enough, but I had more. Whereas people that have dragged themselves from the depth of hell, they're giving even more than they thought were capable every day.
It's almost cliche, but like in every parable, in every verse of every story ever, the people that have been to the bedrock of psychology are always the ones that go furthest. You have to hit rock bottom before you realize what everything's worth. You know, and I say this little phrase all the time, and it's just a reflection of that same mentality. Once you realize that fucking nothing matters, everything matters. Because truly, life is absurd. There's Camus wrote The Myth of Sisyphus around this, right? His essay. the absurdity of life. There is no proof at all for life meaning anything. Zero. It's all net sum zero. Like it all ends up to zero. There's no rhyme or reason for it. There's no rationale without faith, right? This is why I believe everyone is agnostic, but attach a belief set on top of that. So you might be agnostic in the sense that you don't know the answer because you can't know the answer because there is no proof of any answer. But I am an atheist because I don't believe there is a deity. I don't believe any of the stories. I don't believe any of the myths. And that's on me. That's my belief. But I'm agnostic because I don't know that's a fact. I don't know it's truth. Neither do any people that believe in a God. They don't know for a fact that it's truth. It's called faith because there is no proof. But we don't know it's a fact, but their belief set says otherwise, right? So, but I've forgotten my original point there. What were we talking about?
I was talking about people that have that burning desire inside them.
Yeah. So once you realize about the absurdity of life, how just ridiculous it all is, all of a sudden, everything seems magical because I don't believe there's any rhyme or reason, but yet I'm here. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. I'm thinking, therefore I am something. Whatever that might be, if I'm a brain in a jar with electrodes in it somewhere in a different, exactly. If I'm a brain in a jar somewhere, like in the Matrix, tapped into a Matrix, at least I'm something. I'm here for whatever this experience is. I'm here at least. That's something I can do. I can prove that I'm here and I'm thinking, right? But once you realize how ridiculous existence is, then every moment of every day of every fucking week of your life is incredible, and you get to live it and you get to be present and you get to enjoy the moment, and you like you said, memento mori, you get to enjoy every part of life, which is why you've got to enjoy the shit times as well in some weird morbid way. You've got to realize that's part of life. And like I was sat at the funeral today, I'm taking it all in, like looking around. I'm in this church celebrating my great aunt's life, and I was looking at a picture from when she was a kid. Like that kid is the person that's just died, not the 90-year-old. Like that 3-year-old holding the umbrella in that picture, that's the human that's just died, not the old woman in my head, because she's had this incredible life behind her, and it's time to celebrate and talk about life of that individual. And every moment means so much to me because I have spent fucking decades, and that's no exaggeration, thinking about why nothing fucking matters. I've been to real dark places and I've come out the other side, and I know that everything matters now. Everything matters equally. So I enjoy it all and I make the most out of people, and I just genuinely want the best for everyone. And I just love being here, which is why drama means nothing to me. Like if you want to make something out of nothing, go for it. Be have at it. That's your experience that you want to have. But for me, I just want simple shit because I know that matters.
So how do you get to a place though of feeling like nothing matters to realize everything matters if you've never been in the depths of hell? You know, like if you want to be the most successful you can possibly be, and to do that you've got to reach these low places to then recognize how much the highs mean.
Oh man,
that's not something you can engineer, is it?
It's called nihilism, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Don't, you know, there's things that people say, don't even look at it. Like as soon as you're aware of it, like you're sunk, right? So it's a fucking dark time, man. When you hit that rock bottom, it's hard. Sausages, Jon's in the house. But yeah, I don't bother talking about it because it's just useless. Like, and the thing is, I have a few mates that are in dark. I've had 2 mates like top themselves in the last 2 years. Like, and I get why. Life's fucking mental. Like, and I can see it. I can see why people would take that route. I don't personally think I ever would, but like, it doesn't solve anything. But it like, once you,
I guess it depends what you're trying to solve, doesn't it? It solves. Because some people see that as the only solution.
Yeah.
So it solves the problem that they couldn't see any other solution to. So that is it itself. I don't know.
But it's a really strange one, because once you realize in true nihilism, and I'm not going to talk about it too much, but once you realize the absurdity of life, you've got three options. One is what they call philosophical suicide, where you assign yourself and you effectively, this is what Camus stated, when you give up on that relentless search for meaning and you say, I believe in a God. Basically, what he's saying is you're giving up searching because you think you found an answer. So therefore, you just go, I found the answer. I'm giving up on searching. That was what Camus said, right? So that's option one. Option two is you commit suicide because of the absurdity of life and you can't deal with it. And then option three is, and this is why, hang on, where is he? Sisyphus is there pushing the rock up the hill. That's why the essay is called Myth of Sisyphus. You realize that you have to find meaning in the absurdity. And the quote is, you have to come to the conclusion that Sisyphus was happy. So Sisyphus found happiness in the duty that he had on the rigmarole of pushing that boulder up the hill, knowing full well he was never going to get to the end of it. And
was that the story? There wasn't the story that there was just enough hope to keep him going. It wasn't that he didn't think he could. It was that there was just that thread of hope.
He was a narcissist, and he escaped death twice. He tricked Zeus and Hades out of death. And then when he eventually died of old age, he went down to Zeus, and Zeus and Hades came up with this punishment for eternity. And because he was such a narcissist, he felt like he would be able to do it one day. So he had this glimmer of hope in his head, but it was never going to happen. So what Camus said was he had a sense of happiness about his duty, even though he really knew it was absurd. So that's what that whole third option's all about. Either philosophical suicide, physical suicide, or finding duty in the absurdity. And that's the best option for me. But I totally get why people are religious. I totally get it. I totally get why they would do that, because sometimes life's really shit and you need a comfort blanket and you need someone or something to tap into to say it's okay, everything's all right. And if that role of a God does that for you on a book, fucking have at it. Like, I looked around the church today and people singing hymns and like praying and all that kind of stuff. And mate, the older you get, the more you realize people need that shit. People need a blanket. People need to be hugged. People need to know that everything's going to be okay. Most people.
Do you feel it when you're in a church? Like, do you not feel anything like in terms of that? No,
I do feel something. It would be the same as a Christian sat in a mosque. You're looking around going, oh, these people are cool. They obviously like this. But I just see were you there the other day when I said about when I'm watching a film, I just see actors playing roles.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I get that.
I don't see the actual character. I see
it sucks the laugh out of everything there, doesn't it? Because I do something similar. I can be like, I can get an hour into a film and it's just getting to the finale, and then I'm like, I just don't care. And I'm like, I just wasted an hour trying to find something to enjoy.
Yeah. But like, I'll have that. I'll have that in the church. I'll look around and see the candlesticks and the organ and the pulpit and the stained glass windows and all that. And I think it's pretty cool. But it's as if I just see through it. Like it doesn't. It's all an act. It's all a play. It's all a theatre, because people need that. But
I don't see the difference is, though, when you compare that to like a film or a TV show and things like that, where they are actors. They're not acting, are they? They're acting to you because you can't possibly conceive what they believe to be true. But to them, that is reality. So therefore, they're not acting, and it is very real. So like, whatever you go through, whatever process you go through to commit yourself completely to God or to Jesus or whatever it may be, that is real to people. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
But like, it's like if you were sat in a mosque, you'd be looking at the Muslims praying to the arrow on the sign that says towards Mecca, with all the garb around, and then the women in one room, men in the other, shoes off, the imam at the front reading chapters of the Quran. You'd be sat there going, oh, they obviously believe in this, but I don't. It's the same thing. I'll be sat there and I'm just thinking, this isn't real, but cool. Like if that's what they need, then that's cool. I don't think it's not real to them. I think they believe it, but that's why it's faith. It's and like I said earlier, I believe everyone's agnostic because no one has the answer. No one has proof either way. So I think that's what they believe. I definitely think that's what they believe because no one would lie about that. But I see all religions the same.
You know, like what Yanni said there. Like, do you feel like everyone's thought about that? And then
to a degree,
what I want to further ask on the side of that is, I feel like people could confuse entertaining the thought of that with being suicidal, and I think they're two very different things. Yeah. Whereas it's definitely popped into my head before, but not in any sort of suicidal way, almost like an inquisitive, I wonder what had happened way, because that's technically thinking about it, isn't it? Like, what would happen if I did? Not like, I wish I would, life would be better without that. Yeah. And I feel like if you said that to anyone, you know, I can say, I've said it to whoever's chance to listen to this, but if I said that to my mum, she'd have me on lockdown for the next 6 months without listening to, because, sometimes it is like that. Like, I say it flippantly all the time. Like, you know, I find myself saying, like, there's some really marginal inconvenience that'll happen to me, and I'm just on my own, so it's not for any, any purpose. And I'll be like, fuck me, I wish I were dead. It's like, it's just not a normal thing to say, but I don't know.
It's a term of phrase. It's a get out, because everyone knows it's a finalized get out, isn't it? You don't have to deal with what you're doing. It's just a phrase. Like, you're like when you say, I'm going to kill you to your mate when you're like on the football pitch or something, you're not actually going to fucking kill him. But I think, like you said like a minute ago, I think it's okay to think about it. It's okay for you to have the thought come in your head. And I think the worrying thing is if people go, nope, not going to think about it, because it's worth thinking about. It's worth thinking, okay, what's caused that thought? Why am I thinking on those lines? And also, like you said, it's like people just having a little bit of stress and then people saying that they've got anxiety. Like, it's sort of, in some morbid way, it's a similar thing. You're having a little bit of stress and the thought, do you know what? If I, I wonder if I'd ever kill my, like, the thought itself, isn't it? It's when you actually start, because stopping yourself intentionally requires complete irrational thought process. You're not rational when you're thinking that. Your one instinct that you are born with, that you die with, is survival. Every animal has it, survive. That's the baseline instinct that every animal has, survive, right? Once you've decided to override that, that's a mental health issue. That's something that needs addressing.
Or is it the most immense display of strength that anyone could have? Because that's what's always fascinated me. Obviously, there are people that are absolutely nuts and see it as the only option. Probably derogatory, but we are. That's what I believe. But then there are those that, I don't know, take, there's plenty of people that we could name in the CrossFit space that we've seen, especially recently, stuff's going on. Like, they're not mental. So do you think that there's some people that just genuinely, although it seems illogical, just like you're saying that religion seems illogical to you, do you think that they logically come to a conclusion that that is the best option and then have to display immense strength to override all that natural instinct to survive? Because I get it. If you're completely, delusional and mental health impacted severely to the point where you're not actually having rational thoughts, then that's one thing. But then those that are still rational, that have the strength to do
whatever. So logic is logos. It's what goes, how your mind ticks, right? So someone that has those thoughts, their logic has shifted in their head, and they are, through confirmation bias, they're talking themselves up to it for years, potentially, or little talks and little voices, and they're constantly building up this picture that rationalizes and tells them eventually that it's the right thing to do, when we know it's not the right thing to do. But they've built up this whole story for potentially years. Do you remember Gary Speed killed himself? Like, and more often than not, like, it's clearly like something like 75% men, predominantly aged 30 to 50, or 30 to 45 is the biggest one. And
I've nearly made it.
Yeah. But there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And maybe that's a topic for another show, but like, it's purpose, it's role, it's need. You want to feel valued and needed. And men historically have been physical. We've been dominant. We've been pioneers. We've been explorers. We've been warriors. We've been leaders. We've been household champions. We've done all of that. And the last 50 years since World War II, that traditional role of the man has subsided in a lot of men. And over years, they get caught up in this. And suicide isn't a new thing, but it's we need purpose. And over years, men get lost. They don't know a role. They don't have a purpose. No one is telling them that they're valued or putting them to task, putting them to work. Like you said today, right? You probably feel really, obviously you said you could have done more. But when you're busy, when you're working, when you've got a task, when people are depending on you, when you've got value, you feel like a man. You feel like you are worth something, and you are put to task. And that subsides with a lot of men, and they need it, and they need validation. And it's not bad to say that we all need validation in some respects, which is you know, part of spousal commitment. You know, we validate each other, and we say I need you, like I need my wife, and I love her, and she allows me to be who I am, and I allowed her to be her. And we support each other, and we have each other's backs, and we validate each other, and we say thank you, and we are kind to each other, and we support each other. And we tell each other when we're being dickheads, and we have that purpose. We have that person at home, and then we get little shits out of it. But you know, this is a conversation for another topic. But
well, we need to, speaking about that, we need to get Facundo on, mate. You reckon you can do it? You can line it up.
Yeah. We'll get him on. Yon will send him a butt pic, and then we'll
I'd love to. You know what I said to you at the end of last week? I will literally come clean with all my crazy shit from when I was a kid, and just see what he thinks, because I still hold some of it to this day. And I'll do it live. I'll literally. I was a little nutter. I'd love to hear what someone, because you know, because it's someone that you respect as well. Like, there'd be no point me trying to dig into this with someone, you know, like as a doctor or anything, because I did have medical assistance for it when I was younger, but I'd love that. People think I'm. I was
going to message him. Yeah, he'll love it.
Yeah. What did Johnny say earlier? He's got until August, so we've got to watch him for 5 months, and then he's safe. He'll not kill himself.
He's 40. But yeah, all good. Right. Well, mate, thanks for chatting.
Thanks for joining me on your birthday. Happy birthday.
Well, my pleasure. I've got a massive carrot cake waiting for me downstairs and a bottle of beer. So I'm going to go and have some.
Sounds great.
Amazing times. Yeah. Anyway, have a good night. Well done today.
Cheers, mate. Speak to you in a bit.
Yeah. Bye now.
Bye.